While we try to be as helpful as possible, this podcast should not be considered as professional or financial advice. It contains general information only, and you should seek out professional advice for your own personal circumstances before making any financial decisions.
I'm Julia.
Does my hair look good?
And that's Nick with his hair looking good.
And I'm Nick.
And this is the Enthusiast Lab.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome back to another episode of the Enthusiast Lab. Today we have a bit of a different setup.
Yes.
And we are answering...
Oh, wait, hold on. Yes. Never mind. I thought I thought you closed off the wrong one.
And today we are answering all the questions that you guys have been sending through to us.
All the questions.
Yeah, so all the Q&As today. Over the last, I don't know how many recordings, we've been asking people to submit their questions through to us. We asked via Instagram, via pod. People have been emailing through questions, texting, Instagram messaging. So yeah, we've got a couple lined up. Some have asked to be anonymous. Some have asked to have their name on there. And I've got a couple more on my phone that recently came through.
Right.
So I'm going to be jumping between the two.
Yep.
So the way that
Fire
I thought...
away.
We could do it. I'll ask the question.
Yep.
And then either both of us answer one or the other. We'll figure it out. So
Just fucking wing it.
yeah, essentially, I've got the questions here, and that's about it.
Should be right.
So this one was from Michael, and his question was, "What's your end goal for this business, and are you going to expand into different stuff?"
Oh.
This one's a bit of a loaded one.
Okay, so first off...
Let's break it down into two. What's the end goal?
Am I answering or are you answering?
Both.
Oh, my fucking God. All right, go.
What's the end goal for this business?
Well, that's where I was starting before you fucking cut me off. So this is how this episode's going to go. I'll just dig myself a fucking hole right now. So when it comes to Mr. Enthusiast, I didn't think personally when I first started this gig that I was even going to get to the point where we are, where we're running, 7, 8 different fucking platforms. We're currently national. We are in South Australia and WA in Perth, more the metro side than the whole state. And to be dead honest, we are keeping our eyes open and going to potentially be in at least another state. Where that is, we're still doing some D&D at the moment. So over time, we'll see where that goes. So I can't really explain what the end goal is because I don't even know. What I can say is we have a lot lined up. We are running at 110%, which has its own positives and negatives. We do try and take some time off every year now, twice a year mainly. So it's going to be really hard to fucking try and explain. There's a lot that's in the pipeline. I can't say too much only because of how much attention somehow we've generated and gained with a lot of competitors copying everything that we're fucking doing in one manner or another. And what I'm meaning by that is it's not just the floor plan. It's like fucking whatever, man. I know what the fuck I do, and our followers believe in what we do in our vision. It's more about even like with podcasting and concepts of sharing information out there, even in terms of like promotions, people have tried. We're trying to keep a little bit more squirreled away. We do have some gangster things that, again, has never been done in Australia. Hopefully by the end of 2023, if not sooner, we should be actually launching some of that shit just to fucking really pull it in everyone's face.
Well, look,
Julia,
what
help
I'll
me out
say,
here because
Yeah.
I have no idea. You've put me on the fucking spot. I haven't checked these questions.
No, you haven't. What's the end goal for this business? Honestly, no idea, because there wasn't really a business model 4 years ago.
No.
When we say that we wing it and that we play it by ear, we really do mean that we play it by ear.
Yeah.
When we come up with something, it's normally jimming off like us sitting in the car during our construction runs, and everything has been created because someone's given us some sort of feedback, or because we've sat there and we're like, you know, it'd be really cool.
Yep.
Maybe this. Yep. Let's try it. I don't know. We'll see.
100%.
Like even this podcast, I sat down and this wasn't anywhere near a concept that we wanted to do. About a year ago, we were using a
Instagram.
No, a video company who created videos. And they had this awesome mic set up, and I was watching them interview Nick when we had partnered with Hawk Flooring.
Oh yeah, when we first, when they were first doing the interviews about the partnership.
And I sat there and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. You know what? We could maybe talk to them about partnering up and doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I love the idea. Let's definitely look into it. And the more like busier we got, it just kept getting pushed back another 3 months, another 3 months, another 3 months. And even actually doing the podcast, this was just an idea. Like we, way back when we had Ryan on the episode, we were all having a laugh how
much has changed.
No, but like how we all walked into here. Like I kept saying, I really just want to go and try out the studio. Let's just even see if we know how to record, if we sound good on the mics, if the camera angles work.
Yeah.
And we all walked in here, and within 15 minutes we were set up, and we were like, yeah, let's go. And we recorded our pilot episode.
Because I was very hesitant to do this.
Yeah, everyone was.
Yeah. Look, because we had trialed out the Instagram, and look, I love being able to put the information out there, and that has always been the number one goal with Mr. Enthusiast. It's my end goal. If you really want to go down that path, is I want to be, like, this might sound a bit selfish, I want to be, in terms of Mr. Enthusiast, on everyone's forefront of their minds, so that when they consider wanting to build, to get that information right, that I want to be one of those first few people that they think of. Not because I want to build for everyone. I don't. I, like, hand to heart, I fucking don't, because I can't help everyone, and I get that. But I want everyone to think, hey, if I want to build my first, second, my final home, maybe I should just have a chat to Nick and see what the fuck I can do. That is, honestly, if you want to talk about my end goal, I reckon that is like my end goal, and not just for WA. Like, I want to be in a few states in Australia, which again, in the beginning wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Or should we just cut that out?
No, we're not cutting anything out. We do one takes here. As far as...
Well, that's out in the fucking... that's out in the industry now. Fuck, everyone's going to be like, well, you're a selfish fuck.
As far as expanding into different stuff, the podcast is expanding into a different section.
Yes.
We expanded into the Mr. Enthusiast community, which is an episode that we'll be talking about in a future episode. Like, the Mr. Enthusiast community is a topic
100%.
we're coming up with too.
Because that's grown a life of its own as well.
Like, we've played around with other ideas, all of which require time and money that we right now just don't have. Time to invest and money we would rather spend into an investment home, for example. 100%. So like we talked about, and this podcast, it costs money to create.
Yeah. It ain't free.
Like it's not free. It does take time, effort, planning. Right, like obviously we pay Ryan as much as he is a friend and a client. We still pay for his time and his editing and his, skills and knowledge.
Yeah.
So everything does take time and money. So, a couple months ago we brainstormed about looking at getting a couple of moving trucks and branding it Mr. Enthusiast Moving to help our clients move their furniture. Love the idea. However, time and money. Yeah. Where do we store that?
Wait for someone to fucking do that. Okay. Oh my God.
If someone's done that, they've heard it here first. Like it's those things where, like, we thought about that. We've thought about doing a petrol station. We've thought about doing a car wash. We've thought about getting a bigger office. We've thought about expanding to other states, like
hiring people and really pushing Mr. Enthusiast to almost like a company, like a proper building company.
Expanding into different things, we have looked into it, but all of them time and money. In the future, maybe it might be part of our business plan. For right now and in the foreseeable future, no.
But it's also personal life as well. It's like we're also like you gotta remember, guys, that Mr. Enthusiast is our life for both me and Julia. This is everything for us. So we also need to try and look at the personal aspect as well, and that was a big contributing factor to why we ended up going national in SA at the moment, and wherever else we end up going, because at the end of the day, you know, we've had the conversations on and off about kids, about settling down as a family, shit like that. And all of that will come into what our future plans with Mr. Enthusiast is. Because if we do end up having kids, then someone might have to help with the other areas that we are, because we don't want to expand and then shut down to try and compensate and shit like that. So there's a lot that we don't even know. We're winging it as it is. And like at the end of the day, it's not like we're unstructured. We do have a fucking structure. It's just where do we go with it? So I'm sorry, but I don't think it's the answer you're looking for. But
It's the answer we got.
But it's the answer we got. So
that was also a 11-minute answer for one question. I've got a lot of questions here. We're going to speed this up a little.
Well, this is the whole point of why we have a podcast, Julia.
I'm moving to the next one. This one is from Build Them Up Buttercup.
Hey.
What do you do to improve efficiency and deliver homes in such a short amount of time?
Okay, so this will probably be in conjunction with our episode that we had with
Matt,
the GM of Levita Homes. So number one, from my perspective as a consultant, as you guys will know, I'm very, very, very fucking anal with who I want to align myself with. They need to be able to align with the Mr. Enthusiast vision as well as our requirements. And one of them is efficiency on site, speed and volume, as well as what support they can provide Mr. Enthusiast and our clients. Just promising that they can pay us more doesn't mean fuck all. If I was chasing the biggest dollar, I wouldn't be where I am now. I'd rather get paid less if I have to, but make sure that those clients have a killer experience, because it's the clients over time with that brand awareness is what makes us
what gets you
where
more
we
business,
are.
essentially.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. So in terms of the efficiency, if you go back to that episode, hopefully that did give a bit more of explanation. But as a quick breakdown, the number one thing is that the builders that we align with, they stick to their fucking lane. So what I mean by that is, if they are happy to just focus on jobs in new estates and they know they can deliver on a specific time frame and deliver on and honor their pricing, then that's what we work with. If they prefer doing a bit more complicated sites but only 15 to 30 a year, then that's also okay. We just have to mitigate our clientele to be able to accommodate for that. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to spread too far or too thin and promise everyone that we can help when we can only maybe do 4 or 5 in that more complicated side, but we can do more in the other end.
Yeah.
So depending on the client's their own situation, then we can assess where it is. But biggest thing with the efficiency is we have, thanks to Julia, and I will give the shout out to Julia for this one, the reason why Mr. Enthusiast is running so efficient and we are everywhere at once is because of the trillion and trillion and trillion fucking spreadsheets that she has.
Okay, it's like 7.
Trillion.
With lots of tabs.
7 trillion spreadsheets of everything. And she is so fucking onto it. And that is where Mr. Enthusiast has actually grown so much, because I am fucking shit at paperwork. But I can talk and I can do shit, and I can, sometimes I have a very creative idea, but how to implement that with the builders that we use and the processes of our clients to make sure we don't jeopardize everything. That is honestly, having someone like Julia is the make or break it.
I'll chime in. My 2 points really, and it's more or less summarizing your one, is choosing the right builder. I think it's so important.
Huge.
And making it like checking and doing your research on the builder that you're choosing.
Yep.
And the second one is communication.
Oh yeah, fuck. How the fuck did I miss that?
Yeah. See, I'll just take over.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. I'll just go fuck myself.
Communication is so key to
Everything.
It's communication between the client to the builder to the consultant to the client. It's this whole triangle of communication that everyone needs to be aware.
Yes.
And what do we do to improve efficiency? We have chosen the right builder to partner with, but also we do our own checks. So
100%.
you guys listening, if you are not aware yet, we do our construction run.
Yes.
So the builder, they have their site supervisors, or at least in Levita, Levita as a company, they have a site supervisor manager, and then under the managers, all the site supervisors, and the supervisors have the houses underneath that they are managing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing their own individual checks, making sure that everything's running smoothly,
Yep.
correctly, the trades are on site and doing a good job. We, as a consultant, visit your house as the client's house every 3 weeks usually,
Yes.
aside from when we go away on holidays.
Yep.
And even then we try and work in as much as we can.
Adelaide, that's once a month when I fly over.
It's pretty much the
It's
same.
the same thing.
It's
Yep.
the same thing.
Same thing.
Every 3 weeks. If it's a long month, every 4, but
Yeah.
same. And we go to each client's house. We've got a construction key. We walk in and check that something's happened on site. And we email our clients going, hey, we just went on a construction run and we drove past your house and we saw this.
Yes.
And even if nothing's happened, and this has happened before, nothing's moved on site, and it's mainly this has happened with like timber. Timber's been delivered, but
Timber
there's no
and chippies and all
chippy
that.
on
Yep.
site yet. The timber's been delivered.
glass
We
and
come
shit.
back again in 3 weeks and there's still no chippy on site. Then we go to the builder and say, hey, it's been 3 weeks since this has happened. And
The
we
fuck's-
don't know
yeah.
if the timber was delivered that day, 2 days ago, or a week before, because we visit every 3 weeks. So by then I send an email to Nick going, this job's a concern.
Flagged. This one's been flagged. Get
Nick
what's going on.
Contacts the builder does their checks, builders get back to Nick get back to me, I get back to the client, and it's this whole second pair of eyes. Essentially, we're keeping the builder accountable for their jobs because we do this construction run.
Correct.
I have not seen any other consultant or broker do construction runs.
No, and when they do, I've seen here and there, and I've heard about it with a lot of our clients follow a lot of other people. A few people start doing it for a few weeks and then they stop, or they'll do it for 3 months and they stop. We've been doing this I've been doing this since I started in the industry. I was always checking, and we went really fucking specific with what we do for the last 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Every single client, not just, we don't sell 10 homes a year.
No.
We sell quite a few, and every single person gets the exact same.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing with us is all for one or one for all.
Yep.
And that's what it is if one person gets these, these checks and all of these things, everyone gets them. No one gets special treatment. Everyone has the exact same. So that's what we make sure the builder accounts for that too.
Yeah, definitely.
It's regardless if our client is building a single garage or a 10 car or a 4 car or a 30 car, everyone gets the exact same treatment and the exact same service.
So it's,
Hopefully
to
that
really
answers it.
summarize that, communication and choosing the right builder.
100%.
And we improve it by holding the builder accountable by doing our own
Yes.
construction runs.
And always being approachable from both ends, both from the client can approach us
Yeah.
and the builder, so that we can always be that happy medium in between to mitigate with everyone.
Yep. Let's move on to the next one.
Cool.
Which is, I'm assuming it's from Jack or Jake, but the Instagram name was Wild Jacko.
I think Jack. But yeah, go on.
Since you're a Ford man, what classic Ford would you like in your garage?
So this is actually going to upset a few people. I'm not really any. I'm not a Ford man. I'm not a fucking Holden man. I'm not any of this shit. I like many builds. I like many specific cars. The reason I got into the Ford was more for a bang for buck concept. So when I first got my Ps, when I was looking at it, I wanted a VE SS. Actually, to be honest, I wanted a Maloo. Couldn't afford a Maloo with my apprentice.
Ooh,
Wage.
a Maloo.
Maloo. So I couldn't do that. So then I looked at an SS, and I had a few people that had FG, so XR6 turbos. And I started looking at them and going, look, they're both quite nice. It's cool to have a V8, but also you spend 5 or 10 grand on the turbo and you can make quite a bit more power, and it still looks quite standard. I didn't want something that drew a lot of attention to me. I just want something that was quick. And obviously
I didn't want something that drew attention to me, 1,000 horsepower.
Well, but this is the thing. You go look at the car. It just looks like a fucking normal X-Tactic with business writing all over it. Open the bonnet, go, what the fuck? The turbo's the size of my fucking head. So, yeah. So, in terms of, to answer your question, man, like Dad said, the old school is basically where it's at. I do love a fucking killer fucking GDO. Again, it's everyone's fucking dream to have one. But if you want to talk about what my dream car in terms of like old school is, it's a 68 Camaro SS.
Mine would be a 67 Chevy Impala.
Yeah, they're basically the fucking same. That's from fucking Supernatural.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking carry
Absolutely.
on my way, good son.
Yes, absolutely. My dream
Yes.
car was shown there.
Yeah.
I do also want to.
Blacked out. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I do also want to say, because we've got the Ford Ranger, I think a lot of people assume that you're a Ford man because of that.
But look,
And
same thing. Practicality.
the Ford wasn't because it was a Ford.
I was actually going to go for a Hilux originally.
Yeah, I was going to say we were actually going to go for a Hilux, and when we went shopping, Nick basically narrowed it down to a couple cars, and he said, "You can do the final decision. Let's have a look together."
Yeah.
Nick did all the D&D, and then he brought me in. He's like, "Which one do you like?"
Yeah, well, I went and I measured the fucking tray exactly.
Oh my god, we were so
with
fucking
tape
retards
measures.
there with a tape measure in the shop.
Yeah, I went to the car dealership, grabbed the tape measure, measured out the fucking tray on the Hilux, the tray on the fucking Ranger. Like, those are the two main ones that I really narrowed it down to. But then you also looked at cabin space inside, because obviously we would take it out forward driving. We got the pups.
Go camping.
They're not fucking small dogs, so they do take up a whole fucking seat and a bit. So
one dog takes up
Okay.
the entire back seat, and Mishka
yeah.
lays on the floor.
Mishka lays on the floor. Good old fucking Malamutes. So, do you know what I mean? It's a lot of those things came to play. How comfortable it was. In my personal opinion, I found that the Hilux was a little bit more basic, a little bit more simple compared to what the Ranger was showing. But again, Ranger, same thing. It's, I knew about the 3.2 litre diesel, fucking good for towing, especially if I want to get a trailer and all that car trailer for the FG or for the drift cars. So in the long run, I already knew where I was going to aim towards. Bang for buck as well. It was fucking killer pricing for all the inclusions. Shout out to one of our clients that he helped us out because he obviously worked in the dealerships and got us a fucking killer
Good
pricing
deal,
for it.
yeah.
Fucking
Look at
legend.
us connections.
Yeah, fucking 10 out of 10. So, so coming back to it, Julia's is a Chevy Impala 67 and mine's a 68 Camaro SS with a big block in it.
Okay, next question. This one's from Mark, and it's quite a similar question to our first one, which is, what future plans do you have for Mr. Enthusiast? Keep expanding or slow down?
Definitely, with the discussions me and Julie have, we are going to expand more.
Not slowing down anytime soon.
Nah, fuck no. Nah, we're
Choo, all systems go.
Choo, motherfucker, we're on. Like, we're going full steam ahead. And the reason why is that Mr. Enthusiast should have actually gone bigger sooner. We had quite a few setbacks. We've learnt many, what's the word?
Yep.
What have we learnt? Many. Ryan? Oh, fuck.
We've learned a lot of things along the way. Let's get on with that.
Oh, this is going to piss me off.
Okay, well, it can piss you off. I'll jump in here while you think.
Yep.
We no plans of slowing down anytime soon. And we do definitely want to expand, hopefully into at least one more state.
One or two more, hopefully.
Look, a lot of people know we're a married couple. We've been married since 2021.
We've been together since
2010.
Yes.
Oh, I was about to get in trouble. And I think the most common question we receive is kids.
Yeah.
And it's a question that even Nick and I, we don't know how to answer. We, in theory, want kids, but also in practicality, we don't know when that falls in line because we've got two beautiful dogs, we have a very smoochy cat, and we have the business. And that's essentially
our life.
And I don't know where a child fits in. When we have kids is probably when we would look at slowing down or re-expanding in the sense of having staff.
Yes.
Until then, very happy with where we are.
Happy to fucking keep sending it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as far as expanding wise go or more ideas, we're always looking for the next thing to do.
I figured the word.
Oh, fuck's sakes.
Many challenges.
Oh, fucking hell.
That was it.
So,
sorry, guys.
Well, now I've lost my spot. No, hold on. No, don't interrupt. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm going to listen back to this audio and I'm going to know the last sentence that I wanted to said. Oh, it doesn't matter. Recording this at a later stage because I finally got to listen back to the Q&A episode and realized what I wanted to finish my sentence off on, which is if anyone has any ideas or any new concepts that they want to see and think someone like us should do, please let us know, and we will try and incorporate that into our business model. Thank you very much, Nick, for interrupting me. I don't remember the question now off the top of my head, but I know I didn't get to finish my sentence, so I wrote it down. Thanks. Next one is from Alice, and Alice sent through a couple actually.
Oh, yes.
She said, why are builders so scared of big garages with high ceilings?
Okay, so let's start with WA first, and then we can get into SA. So the reason why they are, look, I'm not the builders, but I will say this. It's in the too hard basket. That is what happened when I first started these 6 years ago. And everyone laughed at me going, I'm reducing my clientele, my market, all these things. You're not doing what, has worked for so long, this and that. So they don't see a value. And so we went and proved the motherfuckers wrong, and we built a whole business on it and smashed it across the entire country. And then they realized, okay, cool. You know what? Maybe there is a market for this. So slowly they're changing their very, very, I was going to say limited. It's not limited minds. They're very
narrow way
very
of thinking.
Stubborn way of thinking. I'm going to say stubborn because I think that the builders are stubborn. It's their way or no way, and we have completely started trying to change that mentality.
I do want to say the concept of bigger than 2-car garage, it's not necessarily like a new concept. There have been houses with
definitely.
a third
absolutely.
bay. So
millionaires and shit with big undercrafts and all that.
So it's not like we invented the concept of large garages. No. What we did do was start putting them into the median house price market.
Yes.
For the average person working 9 to 5 who's not sitting there, has inherited a lot of money or building this lush double story. What we've done is we've brought it to the general public rather than the privileged public, if that makes sense.
100%. And that's what it is it was like, oh, if you have a bigger garage then you must be doing well or this and that because you did this. And we just turned and said, fuck you, man. This should be available for everyone and let's prove everyone wrong. And that's what we did.
So I think a lot of builders, it wasn't something that was it wasn't something that could be imagined. When Nick brought this idea forward, everyone laughed at you. Like, people made fun of you.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And even on social media, like the post went viral, but it went viral because everyone was taking the piss out of you. And the other half of the people were going, hold on. There's some merit to this. Hold on, I've got 3 cars.
Yeah, and he's like,
this has some merit.
And many people like, there's finally someone that's actually listening and understanding us. And then they start going and doing a bit more research about us, and it's, oh shit, Nick's got a fucking race car, he's got a daily, he's got a 4-wheel drive, we now have a drift car. We're living with those struggles, and that's what we were implementing to people is going, we live and breathe what we do. We don't pretend to be someone, and that's what people want.
We're not sitting here in a pretty little Merc or whatever.
No. I mean, I fucking love one, but it's not who we are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
maybe one day we'll get a Merc.
Maybe one day. But it's one of those things. So coming back to Alice's fucking question, a lot of the times people, builders, unless they want to fucking prove me wrong, is if it's not what they normally do, they just will not do it. They might do it as a one-off or like, cool to take business, but to actually market to that clientele when their target audience might not be there, that's the main reason why they just go too hard basket, catch you later.
I will also say the market has shifted where big builders are now incorporating a quad garage into their standard floor plan.
Triple garage or workshop options to try and lure more business.
Yeah, because they've seen that it is successful. It does have a market, but
there's merit to it.
There's merit to it. If you scroll it back to when we started, it wasn't something that was needed because no one brought that into the market. Every so often we'd see a little workshop where people were asking for storage.
Yeah. An extra meter and a half to store your benches. And
I don't know if the builders are scared of big garages. I just don't think that there was a market for it. And now that there has been a proven market, they're now more willing to do the changes to accommodate that.
Correct.
As far as doing like a quad garage or a 6-car garage, I don't know if builders are overly keen on doing something so large because it's hard.
Yes, and this, right? we have got the most in Australia. We have built them. We have found a solution and multiple solutions with finances, locations, where they can work. We have seen some competitors. Let's just call them competitors.
Sure.
They're not, but for this argument's sake. And what's happened is they have tried to copy our concepts.
Yep.
And they've given it to the clients, and then the clients have not been able to get finance approved, and they, it's like a trial and error, and they've realized, oh shit,
There's a bit more to it than
there's
just
a bit more to
adding
it,
space to the garage.
and then there's been big issues with it, so they're just going fuck that, and then they just, they burn the bridge. If they have a bad experience, then that's it, catch you later. And then those clients are going, oh, I tried with this builder to do a quad garage. I'm like, well, where do you think they came from? They came to us. Oh, can you come and fix it now? I'm like,
No.
well, look, at first. It's a bit of a sensitive subject for me. Like when someone comes in and goes, hey, I'm building a 6-car garage with someone else. Shit's gone wrong. I need you to come fix it. There was that. There have been a few of those.
There's been a few of those. There's been a few who have signed up on the plan. It's gone through valuations, stacked up, gone to building. The client's rocked up after roof's gone on and gone.
And hoist,
oh,
yeah.
This isn't right.
No.
This won't fit my car.
It won't fit my car, or this won't actually fit my hoist, and they promised me it will. And
then they message us and say, can you fix it? We're like, bro, what the fuck do you want us to do?
Yeah, first off, no one's done this besides us. Number 2, you've gone somewhere else because you've chased numbers and you didn't want to deal with us. Unfortunately, we're not here to fix someone else's fuck ups.
Like, but what did they expect us to do? Like, you're still mid-construction. It's
Yeah,
not like we can
too
come
late.
in and swoop in and
Well,
knock out bricks.
And you know what, to be honest, as bad as this sounds, at the end of the day, I want to keep that knowledge. That knowledge is what makes me different. It's why some people go to shops and shit like that, to, car shops and whatever, and pay that bit more because of that experience and shit. So anyways, we've gone way fucking off topic
like
here.
4 questions.
So,
to summarize,
yeah,
I think builders aren't scared of it. They are a little bit.
They cringe. They cringe at
They
it.
cringe because valuations are hard to get stacked up.
Correct.
If it's drawn incorrectly, then that's a fuck up. If it's not drawn per the car, because you have to remember a Kia Cerato is completely different to a Getz, which is completely different to a Ranger. The length, the width, the height of all 3 cars, completely different. So the standard 2-car garage is designed for sedans or smaller.
Small cars.
Your Ranger wouldn't fit into our
Fuck
garage.
no.
So when we design our garages, it's based on the car type that we're building for the client versus what builders do. It's standard garage.
It's
This
just
is
a
what it is.
generic.
If your car doesn't fit, that's a you problem.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of factors that come in as to why builders don't like doing big garages and high ceilings in the garage.
Well, they don't really specialize. They just do a generic, and if it works, cool, we'll try and do it. But otherwise, it's just they've thrown in too hard basket. That's just, honestly, Alice, that's all it is. They don't do it normally, so if they have to, they will. If not, they just won't.
Yep.
Just have to find the right person for it.
From KT Penny 13.
Mm-hmm.
When is the best time to look at buying/building again after already building your first home?
Cool. So, look, the easiest way to explain this is look at your own situation. Have you already outgrown your home and now you're looking at something going, fuck, I need something a bit bigger for my family, for my own lifestyle. I wasn't really into cars and now I've got 3 cars and now I need something a bit bigger. Look at those circumstances first. Once you've looked into that, then you can start mitigating because it draws what your pains are. You want to find your pains and then find a solution to those pains. Once you've found those, then start looking at what the market is, what is your anticipated expectation. How's your job? Have you started getting paid a bit more than where you were originally? What your situations are. Then I would actually, the first thing I'd probably do, again, if you want to, reach out to us. We can suss it all out. If not, start looking at figuring out your situation in terms of your finances. What can you borrow in today's market? What is your current house valued at? How much is left owing on it? Is there any equity in there that might be able to help towards your new home? Getting all these things will start figuring out what your situation actually looks like. Are you able to look at something a bit sooner, or do you have to wait a bit longer because you've only just purchased a home and it hasn't grown enough in equity? Look at all these situations first. In terms of doing a double up where you're actually looking at, I've got all the situation, so should I start looking now or should I look in 2 years' time or 5 years' time? Like your first one, and you will have seen that you most likely have built some profit. It's time in the market rather than timing the market. So what I mean by that is yesterday is better than today. Today is better than tomorrow. And the reason why is because over that long period of time, you're always growing in that space, in that equity and your lifestyle. So once you suss out all those things, then you can start looking at and go, cool, I was a bit close to the city. I might have to be a bit further out now, but I might be able to get that bigger home, that bigger thing. So that little bit of extra travel time might be fine.
Yeah.
And we have some of our clients that did that. They first built in one area and they've been in there for 5 years. And they reached out and said, we need something a bit bigger because, you know, the partner's into racing and all that. So they need a bigger garage. And I was like, cool, let's see where the fuck you're at. They had like minimal savings at all. And we sussed out from the house. And the house had actually built quite a substantial amount of profit, of equity, that profit outside of what they owe. And we looked into it and we were able to actually clear off the car loan that they had for the 4B and also pull the cash out that they needed for their new build, which with their combined income, they were on a bit more income than they were 5 years ago. And now they're able to they're a little bit further, but they're happy with where that location is because, again, it's going to grow over the next 5-10 years. And they're now on a much bigger block with a much bigger home. Like everything is just bigger and it's exactly to what they want. And now they can still be in that home while it gets built. So they're not going to have to worry about rent. They're still reinvesting that money back into their own mortgage while they're doing it. But also when the time comes, they can flog it off for a profit or rent it out and have it as investment. So in terms of all of that, hopefully that your number one is your circumstances, then your finances, then figuring out from there.
What I'll say, to summarize that, when is the best time? Now. The best time is yesterday, realistically. Because as you said, it is time in the market rather than trying to time the market.
100%.
So...
Well, fucking 4 years ago was better.
Exactly.
Like
and
you want to say, when was it? When do I do it? 4 years ago?
Yeah.
You can't.
In the 80s when the houses were like 50 grand.
Fucking oath.
So when you say when, now, that's the real answer.
Correct.
And it's the same question of when should I look at building my first home? Now.
Yes.
Because in the future, it's going to be more expensive.
Yes.
As far as giving you actual advice, we can't because it does depend on your certain situation.
Have I given advice? No.
No. Okay. I'm just saying.
I started fucking freaking the fuck out. I'm like, have I like gone into a tangent and I fucking forgot what I was saying?
You're going into tangents, but like as far as what I would say, it's you need to assess your own situation and figure out, are you building or buying as an investment or building your next home? Is the next home going to be the one you live in and the previous one's going to get rented, or is that one going to get sold and the new one's the only one that you're going to own? There are so many different factors that come in and you have to assess all of that.
Yeah, 100%.
But as far as when, now. That's the real answer.
Yeah, now. And honestly, reach out. Let me see if I can help you out. At least guide you on that path and then take it on for what you want.
Okay, so the next one is...
So thank you for that question. That was a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. The next one is from Anonymous.
Yes.
And it is... Why is the garage ceiling installed before the roof cover is on? Which is why I was talking to the site supervisor. Wouldn't that damage the ceiling with all the rain?
Oh, okay. No, because the garage ceiling is actually made of fibrous cement. So that is actually designed to be a lot more water resistant. So what will actually end up happening is when you do see it happening is the water will go and it will puddle and then it will start dripping through. So it's actually allowing for it to actually absorb and go out, and it dries up over time without very minimal flexing, so it doesn't actually swell up and get damaged. Whereas gyprock, that is
Which
actually...
is what your normal ceilings
correct. Inside your home, that's all gyprock. That when it gets water, it just starts disintegrating like fuck. It just
or
shits
it can
itself.
get mold on there and stuff.
Yeah, you can get mold and all sorts of shit. So that's not designed for this. So what you'll normally see is they'll start slapping it along the eaves as well as in your garage. And it's fine if there's rain and shit. Like if it really gets fucked, they'll just replace it. But if not, don't worry about it. Should be right.
Yep. So that's a common question that we actually also get from clients.
Yes.
Because they'll see that the timber goes on and then the ceilings go in the garage and then the roof cover goes on. And a lot of clients are like, oh, was this supposed to go on? Yeah. And we're like, yes, it is.
It's all good.
Don't stress.
It's all G.
So another one from Alice.
Yes. She's got all the questions.
She's got 3 here.
Go, Alice.
This one's a really funny one. Why is the builder's range of tiles so unbelievably povo?
Oh, shit. Okay, so look, I'm not the builder, but you gotta... there are builders out there that only give you seven colors as a range, right? The builders that we use, they aren't a high-end builder. So what you were probably looking more for was something a bit more fancy, like a bit more like rectified tiles as standard, which unfortunately a lot of the times the builders don't, because if they continue adding everything at such a high range, the cost will continue just skyrocketing and it just becomes unachievable for most people. So what they do is they put a standards range where they negotiate with suppliers and go, look, I want X amount of ranges of different color opportunities, that to be the standard. And then they can go and you can obviously choose something a bit more nicer and you pay the difference. What you'll notice if you actually go back on it all is normally the tiles are normally about the same price for something outside of it or a little bit more expensive. But where you get hit with the pricing is from the actual tiler themselves when the builder has to cost it because of the labor required to actually install them. So even though a rectified tile is more expensive than a pressed tile in like a wet area, it's the labor from the actual tiler and all of that shit and the wastages and all that. That is where the costs come into play, not the actual tile itself. The tile itself might be the same fucking price. It's the labor. So by the time we pull it all together, so I totally get where you're coming from. Like we just did a whole fucking reno in our place, and you know we get fucking little bit of discount, this and that, like working with the builder and shit, and we still had to pay more because we went for a rectified option. Hand to heart, I'd fucking do it again if you've got the budget for it. It looks fucking gangster, but at the same time, when I started seeing the actual labor, how more labor intensive it was, I can understand why they would change a bit more. And you know what? Because they meant, because I would not fucking lay a tile myself.
Well, let's jump into Alice's next question, and then I've got a long one.
Yeah.
What's trending in building fit outs at the moment?
Oh fuck.
And honestly, I don't know how to answer this because
Oh wait, hold on. I think I actually asked her because she's actually one of our clients. She's fucking lovely. I'm gonna dig it up quickly.
You need to finish your sentences. She's a fucking lovely.
I said she's fucking lovely.
I heard she's a fucking lovely. I'm like,
no, she's
a lovely
fucking
what?
lovely. She's a lovely person. I honestly get along with her. So fucking cool. Basically, what Alice was asking for in terms of the going trend, so to speak, is like, are we looking at extra theaters or butlers, pantries, extra toilets? What type of concepts people are chasing? What's the new go-to? For a while now, sculleries has been definitely one of the big ones that a lot of people are going for. A lot of people are always demanding a 4x2. Theaters, in terms of having a concept where it might be like more of like a parents' retreat, so closer to where the master bedrooms are, so they can have that area away from the kids. We're having a huge fucking demand for, obviously, for garages. Even if it's not my big 4s and 6s or whatever, a drive-through access is a very big one, as well as just a workshop section where if someone has 2 cars and a bike, they can fit her in.
Wider hallways.
100%. That's probably a big one. I reckon that's a big one that probably has been missed and should be addressed. Watch all the plans start changing is wider hallways. And what we're talking is like at least 1.2 to 1.5 width, where you can actually walk. And I think we have a video of me actually walking through one of our houses that we do this for. It's so handy. Moving fridges, moving everything. It's going to be very hard to do that on more narrow designs, but definitely in that 12.5 to 15 meter wide concept plans, that is definitely something that is a necessity that I think is really going in there. A lot more people are trying to focus more on like energy efficient homes. So we're talking not only like, bigger windows and allowing more light, but being a lot more smart. Smart wiring? We're seeing quite a bit of that as well.
I have noticed a lot more top cupboards being packaged into the price.
Yes, overhead cupboards. Yeah,
and I have noticed a lot more feature tiles start popping up.
Yeah,
so that's like your herringbone tiles,
the fish
scales, the hexagon tiles. We'll put all of these up through here somewhere.
Yeah.
And white tiles with black grout has been pretty popular lately as well.
Subway tiles. That's
Subway tiles.
Subway tiles. So definitely those are coming a lot more into trend. In the wet areas, we are seeing many people just follow the the floor tile all the way up.
Rather than having like a feature strip, they're doing a
Correct,
whole feature
correct.
wall.
En suites, we're seeing, obviously, we've been doing quite a lot of our freestanding bathtubs into the double shower with the raised plinth. That is a killer one that people really love. Soap niches. Oh my God, that has to be a new necessity. So a soap niche is those cutouts that you see inside the shower, so you can actually put all your shit.
Yeah, so rather than having a soap holder, the soap holder is in the brickwork essentially.
Yes, a big one that I've started doing and recommend to clients, that's becoming a bit of a trend. If it's a very small amount of upgrade cost, but pushing your cabinetry back that little bit to make it look like it's semi-floating, it means a little bit more vacuuming, but it gives quite a nice presence.
Really nice finish.
Yep, as well as extend in your minor bathrooms to make it a lot more bigger. Extending your mirror all the way to the end of the brickwork of the wall makes a huge difference, and obviously lining up that extra bit of tile. And the other big one for spare bathrooms is make sure you're putting a brick nib wall. So what that means is you're butting up the cabinetry up against a row of bricks, so it becomes like a ledge inside that small little shower. It makes a world of fucking difference.
Basically not having, if you think about your shower, instead of having your glass go all the way, the glass meets up with a brick half wall that then makes love to your cabinets essentially. So there isn't this like 5 centimeter gap in between
little shit gap.
the cupboard and the glass, because nothing goes there. It's not vacuumable. It has to be hand clean, and it's just a fucking pain. It's a dust catcher.
Yeah, that's it. So I reckon those, and like in laundries, for example, making it wide enough. Making it wide enough where you can actually. A lot of people are going for front loaders, so having room for a front loader and the dry next to it with the bench top across it,
and having coat rack hooks in the laundry, where you put your coat rack into the laundry to steam it. You've gone blank on me.
I went completely blank on Julie. So what? So do they?
It's like you know how you walk into your walk-in robe and you've got your rail.
Yeah.
They put that rail into the laundry
Just randomly.
Well, no. Normally it's on cupboards.
Okay,
and
so
that's
you're saying
where
overhead cupboards
with a rail, and that's where they hang their shirts up to iron them.
We're back, guys. We're back. All right, what else?
That's pretty much it.
That's it. So hopefully that gives you, obviously for a few people out there, you don't need to follow these trends, but if you've got the little bit of extra room in the budget, fuck yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll definitely help you.
And you know what? All of these are in our pre-start tips, hot tips, hot pre-start tips that we send out.
That we send out to our clients.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I don't think we've got time for Meg's question. She's going to have to be rolled over into the next one. So we'll record soon. Let's plug. You can find Mr. Enthusiast on
Facebook, Insta, Google, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast.
If you guys can leave us a review or rating, that would be great. It really does help us in the back end.
Help a brother out.
And yeah, if you liked anything from this episode or you have any more questions, please send them through, because we will definitely be doing another one.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to do another one now. I feel so bad for Meg.
We'll send
because I caught up with Meg and I was like, oh, I'm going to do it soon. Sorry, Meg.
It will come out soon. We will do another one and we'll release it soon. I hope you guys keep listening, and hopefully, just remember, guys.
Well, it's a little bit different. Julie's fucking face. Because she's trying to close it off. Like, I hope some of these, because these are very different questions from what we've done before in Q&As. So hopefully it has, it's a little bit different. It's not just go, all about building. And what this podcast has been shaped into is more of a, what was the word? It's like a crash course into building. So having these little questions, hopefully they do help you guys. But yeah, now we can close off.
Just remember, guys.
We're not here
to fuck spiders.
Hey, she's happy again.
Fuck off.